Alright, well, not a lot is known about this topic at this point in time in the franchise. However, I can shed a little bit of light where it is due. So, before we begin formally on talking to you about the Book of Prophecies, I also have to talk to you about its initial creator and heralder and initial keeper for the tenure in which he was around. And this is the Master of Masters. So, we're going to formally start here. Okay, so the Master of Masters was a Keyblade Master that had appeared in the Kingdom Hearts X chapter of the franchise. He's responsible for the training of the 5 Fortellers and gifting them with a specific tome of the Book of Prophecies. Shortly before he had disappeared, the Master of Masters had assigned his disciples, those initial 5 plus a hidden 6th one, with a tome from the Book of Prophecies which taught them of the event that would be the doom and the end of the world as we know it. This end of the world would be the Keyblade War that would come to pass as it was sadly foretold to be. Now, with the backstory of the book already behind us, we get to the Book of Prophecies itself. Now, this book generally appears when traveling to another world, and it's the source of the cards and the medals that are handed out by the Mughals in that specific game and in its preceding game, Unchained X, respectively. So the book's contents at that point correlate to the relevant game mechanics of that experience. Now, going deeper. Following the rite of passage that the Foretellers had in being bestowed upon them their powers as one of the 5, and the Tome of Prophecies, the passage on the last page that had shocked them in their standings was as follows: "The war in that place will lead to the defeat and destruction of the light. The world will be enveloped in eternal darkness." To save the world from the destruction, and the Foretellers had used the power hidden in the book and handed it on to the followers in their respective unions. Behind the scenes of this, in the early stages, the 6th apprentice of the Master of Masters, Luxu, was given access to another part of the Book of Prophecies. This was known as the Lost Page. This page foretold the destruction that would be wreaked upon the world by the Keyblade War, the aftermath as it is, and a conflict which would erupt from the fighting of the separate unions against one another. Luxu was given the task to overseeing these events to ensure they took place as it was foretold to be. Consider this. When taking into consideration what you can understand about the Book of Prophecies and the Lost Page, both of them together contain a vast amount of information on many different types of subjects, person, place, thing, or idea, and it creates its own ledger. And it's said to be capable of transcribing events that have yet to take place or come to pass, and has the potential to conjure new things, creating entire worlds filled with beings and powers of those of future events. So, in short, a book that can tell the reader within reason everything that's about to happen way in advance, years even, before it even happens. And this is what destiny will ensue, and no matter what you wish to do to change it, this is an inevitable conclusion that the book will foresee. And on that notion, I leave you with this. Think about the Datascape, or Jiminy's Journal, and could these not be possible variations of such an all-seeing entity once upon a time, that foresaw the events that underline what's going on right now? Food for thought.